being happy is not difficult. The question is not whether happiness exists or not. The question is whether we are ready to see it. Many times people are waiting for a perfect condition to be happy. They say, when I have more money, I will be happy. When I reach this position, I will be happy. When everything around me changes, then I will be happy. But life is not waiting for you. Life is already moving. The only thing that is waiting is your ability to realize what you already have. Happiness is not hidden far away. It is not something that you must fight and struggle to gain. It is already present in every breath you take, in the people you love, in the simple moments that pass unnoticed. But because the mind is always searching for more, you forget to see what is here. You walk outside and the sun is shining, yet you complain that it is too hot. The rain falls and gives water to the earth, yet you say it is disturbing your day. Do you see the problem? It is not life that refuses to give you happiness. It is your mind that refuses to accept it. If you want to know the taste of happiness, you must stop running. You must stop believing that happiness is always somewhere else. Instead, bring your awareness into this moment. Right now, you are alive. Right now. You can hear, you can see, you can feel. And if you think deeply, you will understand that being alive itself is already the greatest reason to smile. People forget this simple truth because they are busy comparing, busy judging, busy waiting for tomorrow. Happiness does not need complicated teachings. It only needs clarity. Ask yourself, how much do you really need to feel joy? Do you need a palace? Or is it enough to see the laughter of someone you love? Do you need everything to go your way? Or is it enough to know that you have strength to face what comes? Happiness comes when you understand that nothing outside has the power to control your peace unless you allow it. Happiness is already present in the simple moments of life, not in distant achievements. Many people believe happiness is waiting for them at the end of a long journey. They convince themselves that only when they earn more money, buy a bigger house, receive recognition, or achieve their goals, they will finally feel at peace and truly happy. But life does not work that way. If you postpone happiness for a future moment, you will never arrive there, because by the time you reach that place, your mind will already be running after another target. That is why so many people achieve success and still feel empty. They forget that happiness is not hiding somewhere far away. It is already here, waiting in the simplest parts of life. Think about a morning when you wake up and hear the sound of birds singing outside your window. You can rush into your day, ignoring it, or you can pause for a moment, listen carefully, and realize that this small sound is a gift. Or consider the warmth of a cup of tea in your hands after a long day. For someone distracted, it is just a routine act. But for someone who is awake to life, it is a source of comfort, peace, and happiness. When you slow down enough to notice these moments, you realize that joy was never far away. It was always within reach, but the mind was too busy searching for something bigger to see it. Children remind us of this truth. A child does not need wealth or titles to laugh. They find joy in running in the rain, drawing on paper, or playing with something as simple as a cardboard box. They live fully in the present, not worried about tomorrow's expectations or yesterday's regrets. Their happiness is not complicated. It is natural, simple, and pure. As we grow older, we lose this ability because we start measuring everything by what we do not yet have. But if we can return to that childlike awareness, we will discover that happiness has always been with us. The mind often tricks us by saying happiness will come later. It says you must work harder, achieve more, prove yourself, and only then you will deserve joy. But the truth is, joy is not something you need to deserve. It is your natural state. But it is hidden when you allow stress, comparison, and endless desire to cloud your heart. The people who live with gratitude understand this secret. They do not ignore their problems, but they still see beauty in the little things that others overlook. A walk in fresh air, a smile from a stranger, the comfort of home, the taste of food when hungry. All of these are simple, yet they carry the power to make you deeply happy if you are willing to notice them. When you look back on life, it is not always the big achievements that you remember most clearly. It is the small moments that stay with you. Sitting with family and sharing stories, holding the hand of someone you love, laughing until your stomach hurts, or even watching the sunset after a tiring day. These memories are what bring warmth to your heart. That alone shows that happiness is not locked away in extraordinary events. It lives in everyday experiences. But you must learn to slow down, breathe, and see them before they pass. There is no difficulty in being happy when you understand that life itself is a gift. The fact that you can walk, see, hear, and feel is already enough reason. If you compare yourself with others, you lose sight of your blessings. If you keep chasing what you think you are missing, you blind yourself to what you already have. But if you stop and open your eyes, you will realize happiness is not waiting in the distance. It is right here, inside the life you are living. Happiness is not difficult. It is only hidden until you choose to notice it. Gratitude is the doorway that reveals joy hidden in plain sight. So often people wake up and immediately think about what they lack, what is missing, or what went wrong yesterday. This way of living keeps them blind to the gifts already present in their lives. Gratitude changes this completely. It shifts your attention from scarcity to abundance, from problems to possibilities. When you practice gratitude, even the most ordinary moments start to shine with meaning. You begin to see that life is not empty but full, not harsh but generous, not hopeless but alive with reasons to smile. Imagine waking up in the morning and instead of complaining about what you don't have, you take a breath and thank life for simply giving you another day. You feel the ground under your feet, the air entering your lungs, the light of the sun entering your room. For many, these things are too common to notice, but gratitude transforms them into miracles. Gratitude does not make your problems disappear, but it gives you strength to see beyond them. It reminds you that even when one thing is missing, 1,000 other things are still present. People often think happiness depends on achieving something extraordinary, but gratitude teaches the opposite. Happiness comes when you stop waiting for the extraordinary and start appreciating the ordinary. A meal on the table, the sound of laughter, a roof above your head, a body that still carries you through the day. All of these are reasons to be grateful. The problem is not that life lacks blessings. The problem is that people forget to count them. Gratitude is the practice of remembering, of paying attention, of saying to yourself, I already have enough to be thankful for. When suffering is optional, but peace can exist even within pain. Life is not always comfortable. Challenges, disappointments, losses, and struggles come to everyone. No one is exempt from difficulties, and no one's life is perfect. Yet, the difference between a life that feels heavy and a life that feels light is not the absence of problems, but the way we respond to them. Pain is inevitable, it will arrive uninvited. Suffering, however, is something we create with our thoughts, our resistance, and our attachment to how we wish life should be. If you hold tightly to what is lost, if you resist reality, if you insist on things being different, then suffering grows and overshadows everything. But if you accept, if you let go, if you face life as it is, peace can still exist even in the heart of struggle. Think of a person who has lost a job, or a relationship, or an opportunity. The first reaction is often anger, frustration, and despair. The mind cries, "This should not have happened. I do not deserve this." And in that reaction, suffering is born. But notice carefully, the pain of the event itself is one thing. The story you attach to it, the why, me, and how could this happen, creates additional layers of suffering. The moment you stop adding stories and judgments, you find that pain remains, yes, but it is softer, it is lighter, and there is space for peace. Pain does not need to consume you unless you allow it to. People spend so much of their lives running from discomfort, thinking that avoiding pain is the key to happiness. But that is impossible. Life happiness is not found by chasing tomorrow, but by living fully today. So many people believe that joy is a destination, a future event that will arrive only when certain conditions are met. They say, I will be happy when I reach my goal, or I will be happy when life gives me what I deserve. But this way of thinking keeps you trapped in a constant state of waiting. Tomorrow may come, but by the time it does, your mind will already be chasing the next tomorrow. Happiness, then, becomes a moving target, always out of reach. True happiness is not a reward for achieving something in the future. It is a state of being that is accessible right now, if you choose to embrace it. Living fully today means bringing awareness to the present moment. It means noticing the small joys that usually go overlooked. The warmth of the morning sun on your face, the sound of birds in the trees, the laughter of a loved one, the simple act of breathing without pain or struggle. These are all moments of life waiting to be fully experienced. When you slow down enough to notice them, you realize that the present itself is a treasure chest of happiness. People miss this because the mind is always occupied with what comes next. It worries, plans, compares, and judges, forgetting that the only moment we truly have is this one, right now. Living fully today also requires letting go of the idea that you must have everything perfect to be happy. Perfection is an illusion. Life is messy, unpredictable, and often uncomfortable. But within that mess, there is beauty, there is opportunity, there is joy. When you accept life as it is, instead of resisting it or wishing it were different, you open the door to happiness. You realize that you do not need a perfect house, perfect health, or perfect circumstances to feel alive. Happiness does not depend on external perfection. It depends on your ability to be present and fully alive. Comparison blinds the mind. Acceptance opens the heart to joy. Many people spend their lives measuring themselves against others, constantly asking, why am I not as successful as them? Why don't I have what they have? Why is my life different? This habit of comparison steals joy quietly, day by day, until a person forgets what it feels like to be content. When you compare, you are focusing on what is missing, rather than what is present. You are creating an imaginary standard for happiness that depends entirely on someone else's life, someone else's achievements, someone else's possessions. And in that process, your own blessings and opportunities are ignored, overshadowed by envy and dissatisfaction. Comparison is dangerous because it is never fair. You see only the surface of another person's life, the moments they choose to show, the successes that shine, the smile in a photograph. But you rarely see the struggles, the sacrifices, the pain behind the scenes. And yet, your mind treats this limited view as the benchmark for your happiness. You begin to feel inferior, incomplete, or unworthy. This mindset makes happiness dependent on circumstances beyond your control. No matter how much you achieve, someone will always appear to be ahead, and your mind will find a reason to feel lacking. Acceptance is the opposite of comparison. Acceptance means seeing life as it is, without judgment, without measuring it against anyone else. It means understanding that your journey is unique and that you have exactly what you need in this moment to experience joy. When you practice acceptance, the constant mental tension created by not enough begins to dissolve. You start to notice that your life, in its current form, contains countless reasons to be grateful, to feel fulfilled, and to be happy. You stop waiting for approval, validation, or recognition from outside sources and instead turn inward to recognize your own worth. Acceptance does not mean complacency or giving up on true happiness begins when desires and expectations are simplified. Most people carry a heavy burden of longing. They want more money, more recognition, more success, more comfort, and often more approval from others. Their minds create endless lists of conditions for happiness, and the heart grows restless chasing them. Every unfulfilled desire becomes a source of frustration, every unmet expectation a reason for disappointment. In this constant cycle, happiness feels distant, almost impossible. Yet the truth is simple. The more you simplify, the lighter your heart becomes, and the closer happiness comes. When you reduce your desires and align your expectations with reality, life stops feeling like a battlefield. Peace enters the spaces that were once filled with restless craving. Simplifying desires does not mean giving up on life or avoiding ambition. It means understanding which desires are essential and which are distractions. It means distinguishing between what truly nourishes your soul and what merely feeds your ego. Often, people pursue things they believe will make them happy, but these are external objects, status symbols, or comparisons that never satisfy. True happiness does not depend on accumulating or achieving more. It emerges when the heart feels content with enough. Enough food to eat, enough love to feel, enough peace to rest. When desires are simplified, every moment, every experience becomes an opportunity to appreciate life rather than a reminder of what is missing. Expectations are another hidden trap. People expect life to follow their plan, others to act according to their wishes, and events to unfold perfectly. When reality fails to match these expectations, disappointment follows. But expectations can be adjusted, just as desires can be simplified. If you can learn to see the world as it is rather than how you wish it to be, a tremendous burden lifts from your shoulders. You begin to respond to life rather than resist it, to move with its flow rather than fight against it. Happiness grows naturally when the mind stops insisting that the world owes you something and starts appreciating what is already present. Simplifying does not require grand gestures. It is a daily practice, a gentle adjustment of perspective. Start by noticing where your desires are endless and your expectations are unrealistic. Reflect on what is essential for your well-being and let go of the rest. Learn to say, enough, when the mind whispers, I need more. Observe how life becomes lighter, quieter, and more peaceful when you stop overcomplicating it. Moments that were once overlooked. The warmth of the sun, the laughter of a friend, a quiet evening at home, begin to shine with extraordinary clarity. Every spiritual teacher, every wise person, every experience of joy points to the same truth. The mind must be free from endless wanting to feel the fullness of life. Desire itself is not a sin, but uncontrolled desire becomes a prison. Expectations are not wrong, but rigid expectations become chains. Happiness does not require you to have everything. It requires you to see what you already have, to appreciate it, and to let go of unnecessary longing. In this simplicity, you find freedom. In this freedom, joy rises naturally, quietly, and without effort. The moment you simplify your desires and align your expectations with reality, you will notice a calmness you never felt before. The heart begins to rest. The mind begins to breathe. Life stops feeling like a constant race, and every small experience becomes a source of happiness. There is no need for extraordinary events or external validation. Happiness was never lost. It was simply hidden under the weight of unnecessary wanting. True happiness begins when you let go of the excess and embrace life in its simple, pure form. Perspective creates reality, and a clear perspective makes happiness effortless. So often, people live their lives reacting to circumstances as if they are absolute truths. They see a problem and feel trapped, hear criticism and feel diminished, face a setback and feel defeated. But the truth is, events themselves carry no inherent meaning. It is the way the mind interprets them that creates the experience of joy or suffering. Two people can face the same situation and have completely different reactions. One sees opportunity, one sees disaster. One sees a lesson, one sees failure. Perspective shapes reality more than any external circumstance ever can. Happiness becomes effortless when you train your mind to see clearly, to understand life without unnecessary distortions. Distortions come in the form of assumptions, judgments, and stories we tell ourselves. The mind exaggerates, anticipates worst-case scenarios, and compares endlessly. When you take a step back and observe these mental patterns, you begin to understand that much of what clouds your happiness is imagined, not real. You realize that your perception, not the word itself, is creating stress, frustration, and disappointment. This understanding alone opens a door to peace. Clear perspective allows you to separate what you can control from what you cannot. Many people waste immense energy trying to change people, circumstances, or outcomes that are beyond their reach. They get angry at traffic, upset with other people's behavior, or anxious about events that may never happen. But when you see clearly, you recognize that your energy is most powerful when focused on what you can influence: your thoughts, your actions, your attitude. By directing attention inward, you discover that happiness does not depend on changing the world. It depends on changing how you see it. Life is constantly giving lessons in perspective. A failure at work may feel like the end of the world, but with clarity, it can become a turning point. A lost relationship may feel like a devastating loss, but with the right perspective, it can become a path to self-discovery and inner strength. Pain and setbacks are inevitable, yet they do not need to rob you of happiness. When you view life through a lens of understanding rather than judgment, you see each challenge as temporary, each difficulty as a teacher, and each moment, no matter how small, as an opportunity for growth and gratitude. Perspective also teaches patience and presence. When the mind is focused on what is missing or what should have happened, it loses connection with the present. Time slips away unnoticed, and the beauty of now is ignored. But when you cultivate a clear perspective, you notice life as it unfolds. You see the simple joys in everyday experiences: the smile of a stranger, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the quiet comfort of being alive. These small moments, once overlooked, become the foundation of effortless happiness. Another essential part of perspective is recognizing in the end, being happy is not difficult. Happiness is not waiting somewhere far away, nor is it earned only after achievements or milestones. It is present in the simple moments, in gratitude, in acceptance, in clarity of perspective, and in the choice to live fully in the present. Life will always bring challenges, but suffering is optional, and peace can exist even amidst difficulties. By simplifying desires, letting go of comparisons, and embracing the beauty of what is here and now, we unlock the effortless joy that has been with us all along. So, as you leave today, remember that happiness is not a prize to chase. It is a state of being you can step into at any moment. Notice the little things, cherish them, and let gratitude guide your heart. Live with awareness, and you will find that joy flows naturally, quietly, and powerfully from within. I wish each one of you clarity, peace, and the courage to see happiness in every day. Good luck on your journey. And thank you for allowing me to share these thoughts with you.